In this lesson, we will learn about global application class file. Global application class is nothing but a file called global.asax. In our application, we can have one and only one global.asax file. When it is created, we are given the following template. So this is a template which is given when we add global.asax file. Normal pages have an extension of .aspx, whereas global application class file has an extension of .asax. Normal pages have @page directive, whereas global application class has @application directive. It contains a script block declared using runnet equal to server, where there are some methods. Here we have application start method, application end method, application error method, session start method, and session end method by default. We'll look into details when these methods are invoked, but this is a template that is given when we add a global.asax file. Just as you work with page level events in your ASP.NET page, you can work with overall application events from global.asax file. In addition to the events listed in the template that is given when we add global.asax file, the following list details some of the events you can structure inside this file. Application start will be called whenever the application receives its very first request. It is an ideal place in the application to assign application level variables or state that must be maintained across all users. So you try to declare global variables which are available throughout the application, so that the state of this variable can be maintained across all users. Session start is similar to application start event, except that this event is fired when an individual user accesses the application for the first time. For instance, application start event fires once when the first request comes in, which gets the application going. But the session start is invoked for each and every end user who requests something from the application for the first time. Application begin request event is triggered before each and every request that comes its way. This means that when a request comes into the server, before this request is processed, the application begin request is triggered and dealt with before any processing of the request occurs. Application authenticate request is triggered for each request and enables you to set up custom authentications for a request. Application error event is triggered when an error is thrown anywhere in the application by any end user of the application. This is an ideal spot to provide application-wide error handling for an recording the errors to the server's event log. Session end event is raised when the application is running in process mode. This event is triggered when an end user leaves the application. Application end event is triggered when the application comes to an end. This is an event that most ASP.NET developers won't use that often because ASP.NET does a good job of closing and cleaning up any objects that are left around. In addition to the global application events that global.asax file provides access to, you can also use directives in these files as you can with other ASP.NET pages. Global.asax file allows for following directives: @application, @assembly, @import. These directives perform in the same way when they are used with other ASP.NET page types. In the next lesson, we will write an example that demonstrates how to log when ASP.NET application domain shuts down. When ASP.NET application shuts down, the ASP.NET application abruptly comes to an end. Therefore, you should place any logging code in the application end method of the global.asax file.